guys, it's after school, and I'm here making videos for you, and I was looking over at my desk, and there is a giant monster in this room. He doesn't really seem threatening. He's just dancing. Hey, what are you doing? I don't know, it's super weird. I'm just gonna kind of try to ignore it and keep going with the video. We'll see if he's still there when it's over. Okay, we are moving on to 4-digit dividends. So this means that if you're doing your checklist, you are going to have 4 check marks in your checkbox, possibly, because you might have to do 4 boxes. When you have a number in the thousands place, that's like having 10 giant Smarties ropes all roped together into one huge big rope. So it's pretty crazy. So let's go ahead and start with our checklist. Does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers raw? First step is determine. So if I have one big long Smarties rope and 5 kids, I can't just give that one Smarties rope to all of those kids. They won't to one kid. They wouldn't be very happy. I'm gonna have to break it apart. So as I break it apart, I go to my next number. Now I have 14. If I have 14, I have enough to start passing out to 5 kids. So I'm gonna draw my box around 14, a box around 7, and a box around 8. This is good news for us because it means I have to go through my checklist 3 times because I have 3 boxes instead of 4. So I'm still at determine. 5 times what gets me close to 14 without going over. Put a 2. Then I multiply. 5 times 2 equals 10. Subtract. 14 minus 10 equals 4. Compare. I have 4 Smarties, 5 kids. I can't pass out to every single kid, so I'm going to bring up the 4 in front of the 7, and I'm going to repeat because I have another box left. Back to the top, determine 5 times what gets me close to 47 without going over. 5 times 9, multiply. 5 times 9 equals 45. Subtract. 47 minus 45 equals 2. Compare. 2 Smarties, 5 kids. Can't keep passing out, so I'm going to bring over the 2. And then I'm going to repeat because I have another box left. Back to the top, determine 5 times what gets me close to 28 without going over. 5, multiply. 5 times 5 equals 25. Subtract. 28 minus 25 equals 3. Compare. 3 Smarties, 5 kids, they are happy. So I'm going to bring up the 3, and this time it is a remainder because I don't have any other boxes left. So my answer is 295, remainder 3. Let's try the next one. 3,475 Smarties divided by 3 kids. Draw your checklist. Does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers raw? D for determine. Underline the first digit. It is a 3. So this time I have 3 big, huge Smarties ropes, 10 of them actually tied together, and 3 kids. So lucky kids, I have enough of those big ropes to give each kid 1 rope. So that means I can draw a box around my 3, a box around my 4, a box around my 7, and a box around my 5. Now that's good for the kids because they get a ton of Smarties. Not great for us because we have 4 boxes, which means we have to go through the checklist 4 times. So here we go. 3 times what gets me close to 3 without going over? 1. Multiply. 3 times 1 equals 3. Subtract. 3 minus 3, 0. Compare. 0 Smarties ropes left. 3 kids, they are happy. Bring up the 0 in front of the 4, and then I repeat because I have another box. Back to the top, determine 3 times what gets me close to 4 without going over. That would be 1 again. Multiply. 3 times 1 equals 3. Subtract. 4 minus 3 equals 1. Compare. 1 Smartie, 3 kids, they have an equal amount and are happy. Bring up the 1 in front of the 7, and I repeat because I have another box left. Back to the top. Determine 3 times what gets me close to 17 without going over? 5. Multiply 3 times 5 equals 15. Subtract 17 minus 15 equals 2. Compare 2 Smarties, 3 kids, they are happy. Bring up the 2. And then I'm going to repeat one more time because I have one more box left. So here we go, back to determine. 3 times what gets me close to 25 without going over? 8. Multiply, tree times skate equals denty floor, 24. Subtract, 25 minus 24 equals 1. Compare 1 Smartie to share with 3 kids, they are happy. So I'm going to bring up the 1. And finally, I don't have another box left, so this is my remainder. And my answer is 1,158, remainder 1. Well, let's go on to the next one. 8,264 Smarties, sharing them with 4 kids. Start with the checklist. Does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers raw? Determine. I'm going to underline the 8. If I have 8 big, huge Smarties ropes and I'm sharing them with 4 kids, I have enough that I can pass them out to each kid. That's good for the kids, but bad for me, because that means I have to draw 4 boxes. And I'll have to go through my checklist 4 times. Still on determine. 4 times what gets me close to 8 without going over? 2. Multiply. 4 times 2 equals 8. Subtract. 8 minus 8 equals 0. Compare. 0 ropes left. 4 kids. They are happy. Bring up the 0 in front of the 2. Then repeat or remainder. This is a repeat because I have another box. So determine. 4 times what gets me close to 2 without going over? Well, 4 times 1 is 4, and that goes over, so it has to be 0. Let's multiply. 4 times 0 equals 0. 2 minus 0 equals 2. I just subtracted. Compare 2 Smarties, 4 kids. They are happy. So I'm going to bring up the 2 in front of the 6 and repeat because I have another box left. Back to the top. Determine. 4 times what gets me close to 26 without going over? That would be 6. Then multiply. Door times chicks equals denty floor, 24. Subtract. 26 minus 24 equals 2. Compare 2 Smarties, 4 kids. The kids are happy. Bring up the 2 in front of the 4. And I have to repeat one more time because I have another box left. So back to the top of the checklist. Determine. 4 times what gets me close to 24 without going over? That would be 6. Multiply. Door times chicks equals denty floor, 24. Subtract. 24 minus 24 equals 0. Compare. 0 Smarties left. 4 kids. They are very happy. Bring up the 0. And finally, that is my remainder because I don't have any other boxes left. So each kid gets 2,066 Smarties, and I have 0 left over. Next one. This time I have 7,355 Smarties, and I'm sharing them with 7 kids. So I'm going to need my checklist. Does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers raw? Determine. Underline the first digit. I have 7 huge Smarties ropes sharing with 7 kids, so I have enough to give each kid one of the big, huge ropes of Smarties. Good news for the kids, they get lots of Smarties. Bad news for us, we have a lot of boxes, 4 boxes, so we have to go through our checklist 4 times. Still determine. 7 times what gets me close to 7 without going over? 1. Multiply. 7 times 1 equals 7. Subtract. 7 minus 7 equals 0. Check. I have 0 Smarties or ropes left to pass out to 7 kids, so they are happy when I compare. Then I bring over the 0, and I repeat because I have another box left. Back to the top. Determine. 7 times what gets me close to 3 without going over? That would be 0. Multiply. 7 times 0 equals 0. Subtract 3 minus 0 equals 3. Compare 3 Smarties, 7 kids, they are happy. Bring up the 3, and then repeat or remainder. I'm going to repeat because I have another box left. Back to the top of the checklist. Determine 7 times what gets me close to 35 without going over. 5. Multiply 7 times 5 equals 35. Subtract 35 minus 35 equals 0. Compare 0 Smarties, 7 kids, they are happy. Bring up the 0 and repeat one more time because I have one more box left. Top of the checklist, determine 7 times what gets me close to 5 without going over. 0 again. Multiply 7 times 0 equals 0. Subtract 5 minus 0 equals 5. Compare 5 Smarties, 7 kids, they are happy. Bring up the 5, and finally this is my remainder because I don't have another box left. So each kid gets 1,050 Smarties with 5 left over. Okay, down here in this row, our problems are set up a little bit differently, so we're gonna have to put them into a long division problem. So our first problem here is 2,194 divided by 3. So my dividend, or my total number of Smarties that goes inside the symbol, is 2,194. I'm going to write that first, then draw my long division symbol around it. I'm sharing it with 3 groups. Then I'm going to do my checklist on the side. Does McDonald's sell cheese burgers raw? Start with D, determine. If I have 2 big, long Smarties ropes and 3 kids, I don't have enough to start passing them out. So I'm going to go to my next number. Now I have 21, and I have enough to start passing out. So I'll draw a box around 21, which is good because it's 1 less box and 1 less time through the checklist. A box around 9, and a box around 4. I'm still on D, determine. 3 times what gets me close to 21 without going over? 7. Then I multiply. Tree times surfing equals empty sun, 21. Subtract. 21 minus 21 is 0. Compare. I have 0 Smarties and 3 kids to pass out to, so I don't have enough to pass any out, so the kids are good. Now I B, bring over the 0, put it in front of the 9. Then I repeat because I have another box. Back to the top of the checklist, D, determine. 3 times what gets me close to 9 without going over? That would be 3. Multiply, 3 kids, each get 3 Smarties. Tree times tree equals line 9. Subtract to see how many I have left. I have 0 left again. Compare, 0 Smarties left with 3 kids. I can't pass any more out, so I can bring over the 0, put it in front of the 4. And then I am going to repeat because I have another box. So back to the top of the checklist, determine 3 times what gets me close to 4 without going over? 1. Multiply, 3 kids, each get 1 Smartie. 3 times 1 equals 3. Subtract to find how many I have left. 4 minus 3 equals 1. Compare, if I have 1 Smartie left, I can't pass them out to 3 kids, so the kids are happy. I can bring up the 1, and I am going to have this be my remainder because I don't have another box left. So my answer is 731, remainder 1. Let's try this one. I'm going to put my total, or my dividend, on the inside, 6,760. That's the total number of Smarties I have. I'm sharing them with 4 kids. So get it lined up nice and neat and put your checklist on the side. Does McDonald's sell cheese burgers raw? First step, determine. I'm going to underline my 6. If I have 6 Smarties, I have enough to start passing them out to 4 kids. So I'm going to draw my box around 6, a box around 7, a box around the other 6, and a box around 0. So this means I have to go through my checklist 4 times. I'm still on determine. 4 times what gets me close to 6 without going over? 1. Multiply, 4 kids each get 1 Smartie. 4 times 1 equals 4. Subtract to see how many I have left. 6 minus 4 equals 2. Compare, I have 2 Smarties to pass out to 4 kids. I don't have enough to pass them out, so the kids are happy. I'm going to bring up the 2 in front of my 7 and repeat because I have another box. So I go to the top of the checklist, determine 4 times what gets me close to 27 without going over. 6, multiply, 4 kids each get 6 Smarties. Door times chicks equals dentifloor, 24. Subtract to see how many I have left. 27 minus 24 equals 3. Compare, I have 3 Smarties, 4 kids. I don't have enough to keep passing out, so I'm going to bring up the 3 and put it in front of the 6 to make it 36. Then I repeat because I have another box. Back to the top, determine 4 times what gets me close to 36 without going over. 4 times 9. Multiply, 4 kids each get 9 Smarties. 4 times 9, 1 less, 36. Subtract to see how many I have left. 36 minus 36 is 0. Compare, if I have 0 Smarties left to pass out, I can't give any more to 4 kids. So I'm going to bring up the 0, and I make this a double 0 over here. And I repeat one more time because I have 1 box left. Back to the top, determine 4 times what gets me close to 0 without going over. Well, 4 times 0. Multiply, 4 kids each get 0 Smarties. That means 4 times 0 equals 0. Subtract, 0 minus 0 is 0. Compare, 0 Smarties left, 4 kids to share them with. The kids are happy, I can't give them any more. Bring up the 0, and this time it's my remainder because I don't have another box left. So my answer is 1,690, remainder 0. Okay, one more. My dividend, or my total number of Smarties, is 2,562. I'm sharing it with 6 friends, so I'm dividing by 6. Checklist on the side. Does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers raw? First step, D, determine. I'm going to underline my 2. If I have 2 big long Smarties ropes and 6 kids, I can't start passing out the Smarties ropes. I'm going to have to break them apart. So I'm going to go to my next number. So now I have 25. I'm going to draw my box around 25, a box around my 6, and a box around my 2. Still on step D, determine. 6 times what gets me close to 25 without going over. I can put a 4 above that box. Multiply, 6 kids each get 4 Smarties. Chicks times door equals dentifloor, 24. Subtract to see how many I have left. I have 1 left. Compare, if I have 1 Smartie and I'm sharing with 6 kids, I can't pass out anymore, so the kids are happy. Bring up the 1 right in front of the 6 there, and I'm going to repeat because I have another box left. Back to determine. 6 times what gets me close to 16 without going over. Put a 2. Multiply. 6 kids each get 2 Smarties. 6 times 2 equals 12. Subtract to see how many I have left. 16 minus 12 equals 4. Compare. 4 Smarties to pass out to 6 kids. I can't give every kid 1, so I can bring over my 4 to make it 42. Then repeat because I have 1 box left. 6 times what gets me close to 42 without going over. 7. Multiply, 6 kids. Oops, I forgot to check off determine. Multiply, 6 kids each get 7 Smarties. Chicks times surfing equals 40 zoo, 42. Subtract to see how many I have left. 42 minus 42 equals 0. Compare, 0 Smarties to pass out, 6 kids I'm sharing with, can't pass out anymore. So I'm going to bring up the 0, and it is my remainder because I don't have another box left. So my answer is 427, remainder 0. All right, moving on to word problems. Number 1, you have 3,385 M&Ms. Yum, that is our total number of M&Ms. You want to split the M&Ms evenly. So split evenly is a hint word for division. Among 8 friends. 8 friends is the groups I'm sharing with. My question is, how many M&Ms will each friend get? I'm trying to figure out how many are in each group. So hint word for division. Also, I know the total, and I know my groups. I'm trying to figure out in each group. So this is going to be a division problem. I'm going to write the total off to the side. 3,385 divided by 8 groups. Checklist to the side. Does McDonald's sell cheese, burgers, raw? First step, D, determine. I'm going to underline my 3. If I have 3 big long ropes of Smarties that I am sharing with 8 kids, I can't give every kid 1. So I'm going to have to go to my next number. Now I have 33, so I'm going to draw my box around 33, 1 around 8, and 1 around 15. Still on determine. 8 times what gets me close to 33 without going over? 4. Multiply. 8 kids each get 4 Smarties. Skate times door equals dirty U, 32. Subtract to see how many I have left over. 33 minus 32 is 1. Compare. If I have 1 Smartie left, I can't pass them out to all 8 kids, so I am good. I can bring up the 1 in front of the 8. Now I can do my R, which is repeat or remainder. I have another box left, so I'm going to repeat. All right, back to the top of the checklist, D, determine. I have 8 times what gets me close to 18 without going over? 2. Multiply. 8 kids each get 2 Smarties. 8 times 2 equals 16. Subtract to find out how many I have left. You get 2. Compare. I have 2 Smarties that I need to pass out to 8 kids. I don't have enough, so my kids are good. I'm going to bring up the 2 in front of my 5, and I'm going to repeat because I have another spot left in the quotient. Back to the top, determine. 8 times what gets me close to 25 without going over? 3. Multiply. 8 kids each get 3 Smarties. 24. Subtract. 25 minus 24 is 1. Compare. 1 Smartie, 8 kids, can't pass out anymore. So I'm going to bring up the 1, and it is a remainder because I don't have another box left. So my answer is 423, remainder 1. Answer in a complete sentence. How many M&Ms will each friend get? Each friend will get, check, 423 M&Ms. And don't forget about your remainder, with 1 left over, or you could say with a remainder of 1, either way. All right, one more word problem, number 2. The team ordered 1,286 shirts. That is our total. They want to give out an equal number of shirts. That is a hint word for division, so I'll put my division side. At 5 games this season. 5 games is my groups. Bracket the question, how many shirts can they give out at each game or in each group? I know the total, I know how many groups I have. I'm trying to figure out how many are in each group, so I'm going to divide. So I'm going to write my total nice and neat, 1,286, dividing by my groups, which is 5. Checklist on the side. Does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers raw? D, determine. If I have 1 big, huge Smarties rope that I am passing out to 5 kids, I don't have enough for every kid to get 1, so I need to go to my next number, 12. I'm going to draw my box around 12, a box around 8, and a box around 6. Still on determine. 5 times what gets me close to 12 without going over? 2. Multiply. 5 times 2 equals 10. Subtract to see how many I have left. 12 minus 10 equals 2. Compare, if I have 2 Smarties left and 5 kids, I can't pass out anymore. So I can bring over my 2 in front of my 8. And I'm gonna repeat because I have another box. Back to the top of the checklist, determine 5 times what gets me close to 28 without going over. 5, multiply, 5 kids each get 5 Smarties, total of 25. Subtract 28 minus 25 equals 3. Compare, I have 3 Smarties and 5 kids, so I can't keep passing them out. I'm good to bring over the 3 in front of the 6. And I repeat because I have another box left. Back to the top, determine 5 times what gets me close to 36 without going over. 7. Multiply, 5 times 7 equals 35. Subtract, 36 minus 35 is 1. Compare, 1 Smartie compared to 5 kids. I can't pass out anymore, so I'm going to bring up the 1. Repeat or remainder. I don't have another box left, so it's a remainder of 1. How many shirts can they give out at each game? The team can give out 257 shirts at each game with a remainder of 1. Or you could say with 1 left over. So we moved over here while I was making the video, I guess to get closer to me, I don't know. He won't talk, but I decided to play some music and see what he would do, and he just really likes to dance, so I'm just gonna watch him dance for a while. I wonder if he'll be here when you get to school tomorrow. This is so weird.